Chosen one, listen carefully because what is happening right now is not ordinary and it is not random. Tonight carries a spiritual weight that cannot be explained through logic alone. There is a quiet movement taking place beneath the surface of the world, unseen by the masses, ignored by systems of power, yet deeply felt by those whose spirits are awake. If you have felt restless for no clear reason, if your heart has been heavy yet expectant, if your soul has felt pulled toward stillness and alertness, at the same time, this message is reaching you exactly when it is meant to. This is not fear-based. This is not meant to overwhelm you. This is recognition. Throughout history, divine movements have never announced themselves loudly. They arrive silently, gently, and precisely. The most important shifts do not happen in crowds. They happen in the unseen places within the spirit, within the heart, within moments that feel ordinary on the outside but sacred on the inside. Tonight is one of those moments, a threshold, a crossing point, a night of alignment. There are individuals scattered across the world who have always felt different, even from a young age. You may have struggled to belong. You may have questioned why life felt heavier for you than for others. Why joy came with depth, pain came with purpose, and silence spoke louder than noise. You may have walked seasons alone, not because you were rejected, but because your path required refinement. Those experiences were not mistakes, they were preparation. The 144,000 is not a concept meant to elevate the ego or divide humanity. It is a spiritual designation, a frequency of service, responsibility, and alignment. It represents those who carry light, not for attention, but for preservation. Not to be worshipped, but to stand steady when others cannot. And tonight there is a subtle sealing and internal confirmation taking place among those who are ready. This marking is not physical. There is no symbol visible to the eyes. It is energetic, spiritual, and deeply personal. It manifests as clarity instead of confusion, calm instead of fear, and inner knowing instead of external proof. You may feel drawn to solitude tonight. You may feel the urge to pray, reflect, breathe deeply, or simply sit in silence. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. The world is loud right now. Systems are cracking. Truth is distorted. Fear is amplified. And when humanity reaches moments like this, the divine does not respond with chaos. It responds with order, with placement, with preparation. The chosen are not removed from the world, but positioned within it, anchored, steady, awake. If you are here, do not rush to label yourself. Do not force meaning. Simply listen. Simply feel. This message is not here to convince you of anything. It is here to resonate. Truth does not shout, it echoes. Tonight is not about becoming something new. It is about remembering who you already are. The marking is not creating identity, it is confirming alignment. And if your spirit feels calm instead of anxious as you hear this, that calm is your answer. Chosen one before fear, curiosity, or imagination takes over. It is important to understand the truth behind the number 144,000. This number has been misunderstood, sensationalized, and distorted over time. It was never meant to create division or superiority. It was never about exclusion. It is about alignment, responsibility, and service at a critical moment in humanity's journey. The 144,000 originates from ancient prophetic language that speaks in symbols, frequencies, and spiritual principles rather than literal mathematics. This number represents completeness, order, and divine structure. It points to a specific group of souls who carry a particular resonance, one refined through pressure, hardship, and inner awakening. These are not perfect people. These are prepared people. From an early age, many who resonate with this calling felt different without knowing why. You may have questioned authority, sensed truth beneath words, or felt uncomfortable conforming to systems that did not align with your spirit. Life may have forced you into early maturity. Pain may have shaped your compassion. Isolation may have sharpened your awareness. These were not accidents, they were signals. The 144,000 are not chosen because they are better than others. They are chosen because they are willing to carry weight. They are willing to stand steady when truth is unpopular, willing to remain compassionate in a world driven by fear, willing to awaken without becoming arrogant. This is not a reward, it is a responsibility. Many of those aligned with this frequency tried to live normal lives. You tried to fit in, to quiet your intuition, to follow paths that promised security. Yet something always pulled you back inward, a voice that would not go silent. A knowing that your purpose extended beyond personal comfort. No matter how far you wandered, you were always redirected. That redirection was guidance. The 144,000 are scattered across nations, cultures, and belief systems. They do not belong to one religion or doctrine. They are not united by labels, but by resonance. When they encounter truth, they recognize it instantly. When they encounter falsehood, their spirit feels uneasy. This discernment is one of their defining traits. Another defining trait is endurance. These souls have walked through misunderstanding, rejection, and spiritual loneliness, not because they were weak, but because they were being refined. Fire does not destroy gold, it purifies it. Pressure does not break diamonds, it forms them. Every hardship you endured was shaping your capacity to hold light without being consumed by darkness. The 144,000 are often quiet. They observe more than they speak. Their strength is not loud but stable. When chaos increases, they become calmer. When fear spreads, they become grounded. This is because their role is not to panic, but to anchor. Chosen one, understanding the 144,000, is not about counting who belongs and who does not. It is about recognizing a frequency of consciousness that is activating now. If this message resonates without effort, if it feels familiar rather than shocking, that familiarity is not coincidence, it is recognition. This is not about claiming a title, it is about embodying responsibility. And as this unfolds, you are being invited not to elevate yourself above others, but to stand firmly in truth, humility, and service as the world enters a time that will need your steadiness more than ever. Chosen one, the marking taking place is not something the physical eye can detect, and that is why so few will ever understand it. There is no visible symbol, no external sign, no announcement made to the world. This marking is spiritual, energetic, and deeply internal. It is a sealing of alignment, a confirmation that your spirit is tuned to a divine frequency that cannot be counterfeited. Throughout sacred history, true markings were never outward first. They were always inward before they manifested through action. This seal is not placed on the body, but on the consciousness. It does not change who you are overnight. It clarifies who you have always been. It strengthens discernment, stabilizes faith, and anchors your spirit so it cannot be easily shaken by fear, deception, or chaos. You may already be sensing it without having language for it. A subtle calm settling in your chest, a clarity that arrives without explanation, a feeling of being held even when circumstances remain uncertain. This is not imagination. It is alignment. When the invisible marking also heightens sensitivity. You become more aware of energy and tension and truth beneath words. Crowded places may feel overwhelming. Certain conversations may suddenly feel heavy or hollow. You are not becoming distant, you are becoming discerning. The seal refines your awareness so that you can navigate a world full of distortion without absorbing it. Another sign of this marking is inner separation. You may feel less drawn to noise, drama, or constant stimulation. Silence begins to feel nourishing rather than empty. Solitude becomes restorative rather than lonely. This is because your spirit is recalibrating. The seal requires stillness to settle fully. Just as ink needs time to dry, this marking needs quiet to anchor itself within you. This seal also creates recognition between chosen ones, not through words, labels, or declarations, but through energy. When aligned souls encounter one another, there is an immediate sense of familiarity. Conversations feel effortless. Trust forms without force. Even brief encounters can feel meaningful. This recognition does not always lead to permanent connection, but it always leaves clarity behind. It is important to understand that this marking does not make you invincible or superior. It makes you responsible. You are not sealed from hardship. You are sealed through it. You will still experience emotion, grief, and challenge, but you will no longer be lost within them. The seal stabilizes your center so that no matter what shifts externally, your inner foundation remains intact. The reason this marking happens quietly is because anything loud can be manipulated. Anything visible can be imitated. But frequency cannot be faked. Alignment cannot be stolen. This is why institutions, systems, and false authorities are unaware of what is happening. This movement does not need permission. It does not require validation. It unfolds beyond control. Chosen one, do not seek proof. Do not seek. Do not compare experiences. The seal works uniquely within each individual. Some will feel peace. Some will feel emotional release. Some will feel clarity. Others may feel exhaustion as old layers fall away. All responses are valid. What matters is not the sensation, but the shift. This invisible marking is not an end, it is a threshold. A quiet confirmation that you are prepared to move forward with clarity, humility, and strength. You are not being marked for fear. You are being sealed for steadiness. And in the days ahead, that steadiness will matter more than ever. Chosen one timing is never accidental in the divine order. Nothing unfolds too early or too late. And this marking is happening now because now is the only moment it could happen. Humanity has reached a turning point, a threshold where old systems can no longer sustain the weight of truth they were built to avoid. What you are witnessing in the world is not simply chaos, it is exposure. And exposure always precedes transformation. Across nations and cultures, structures once considered stable are cracking. Belief systems are being questioned. Identities are being reshaped. Fear is amplified through noise and division, while truth is buried beneath distraction. In moments like this, the divine does not respond with spectacle, it responds with preparation. Before change becomes visible, alignment must be secured. This marking signals that the preparation phase is ending. For a long time, you are being refined in private through solitude loss, confusion, and inner battles no one else saw. You are learning discernment instead of dependence, strength instead of validation, faith instead of certainty. That inner work was not wasted time. It was training. And training ends when readiness is reached. Now is the moment because the frequency of the world is shifting rapidly. As instability increases, so does the need for grounded presence. The marked are not here to escape the world, but to remain steady within it. When fear spreads quickly, calm becomes rare. When truth is distorted, clarity becomes essential. Those sealed now are being positioned as anchors, not saviors. Another reason this marking is happening now is because cycles are closing. Old karmic loops are ending. Generational patterns are being interrupted. Many chosen ones have already completed deep healing work, often unknowingly, not just for themselves, but for bloodlines and collective energy. What once repeated automatically has now reached resolution. The marking confirms closure and clears the path forward. This moment also aligns with spiritual maturity. Earlier in life, the responsibility would have been too heavy. The ego may have misunderstood it. Fear may have distorted it. But now, after being humbled, stripped, and refined, you are less likely to misuse what you carry. You no longer seek power. You seek peace. And that shift is the marking happens in moments of transition, often at night, often in stillness, because that is when resistance is lowest. Darkness is not evil, it is receptive. It is where seeds take root. It is where vision forms before light reveals it. Tonight represents that fertile space between what was and what is becoming. You may notice time feeling strange, either moving too fast or standing still. You may feel emotionally sensitive or deeply reflective. You may feel called to rest, release, or forgive without knowing why. These are signs of integration. Your spirit is adjusting to a new level of awareness and responsibility. It is also happening now because the chosen are needed to stand without instruction. There will not be a script. There will not be a single leader or doctrine. The marking aligns individuals who can listen inwardly and act with integrity rather than imitation. Unity will come through resonance, not organization. Chosen one, this is not about urgency or fear. Nothing is required of you tonight except awareness and openness. You are not being rushed, you are being recognized. The marking is happening now because you are ready now. And readiness is the only clock the divine ever follows. Chosen one, the marking is subtle, but it is not silent. It does not announce itself with dramatic visions or outward symbols. Instead, it reveals itself through internal shifts, changes in awareness, emotion, and perception that feel deeply personal yet unmistakably real. These signs are not meant to prove anything to others. They are meant to confirm alignment within you. One of the most common signs is an increase in inner clarity. Thoughts that once felt tangled begin to settle. Decisions that once felt overwhelming become simpler. You may not suddenly have all the answers, but you feel less anxious about not having them. There is a quiet trust forming inside you, a sense that you are supported even when circumstances remain uncertain. Another sign is heightened sensitivity, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. You may feel more affected by environment, sounds, or conversations. Certain places may drain you quickly, while others restore you almost instantly. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is refinement. Your awareness is becoming more precise so that you can discern alignment without explanation. Dreams often intensify during this period. They may become more vivid, symbolic, or emotionally charged. You might wake with strong impressions, messages, or feelings that linger throughout the day. These dreams are not random. They are part of your subconscious integrating higher awareness. Even if you do not understand them fully, their presence signals activation. Physical sensations can also occur, though they vary from person to person. Some feel warmth in the chest or spine. Others experience gentle pressure around the head or a sense of lightness in the body. You may feel sudden fatigue as old emotional layers release. Rest becomes important. This is not depletion, it is recalibration. Emotionally, you may notice waves of release, moments of unexpected tears, deep sighs, a desire to forgive or let go without revisiting old stories. This is the seal clearing space within you. What no longer aligns is dissolving so that what does align can settle more deeply. Another clear sign is detachment from external validation. You care less about being understood or approved of, not because you are withdrawn, but because your sense of self is stabilizing. You feel less reactive, less defensive, more grounded. Your peace begins to matter more than being right. You may also notice repeated synchronicities, numbers, symbols, or meaningful coincidences that seem to follow you. These are not meant to distract you. They are confirmations, gentle reminders that you are aligned and observed. Chosen one, these signs do not need to happen all at once, and they do not look the same for everyone. The marking is personal, not performative. If what you are experiencing feels quiet, grounding, and clarifying, rather than chaotic or ego-driven, you are moving in the right direction. Do not chase signs. Do not compare experiences. Simply remain present. Awareness allows the seal to integrate naturally, and as it does, you will find yourself moving through the world with greater calm, clarity, and trust without needing to explain why. Chosen one, the marking is not a destination, it is an assignment. It does not elevate you above others. It positions you to serve in a way that requires steadiness, humility, and integrity. Those who are marked are not called to escape the world, but to remain present within it as anchors of clarity during times of confusion. The primary purpose of the marked is to carry stability. When fear spreads quickly and truth becomes distorted, calm presence becomes powerful. You may notice that people feel at ease around you without knowing why. Conversations soften, tension lowers. This is not something you force, it is something you embody. Your role is not to convince, but to steady. Another responsibility is discernment. The marked are not here to follow blindly or repeat what is popular. You are here to sense truth beneath appearances. This means you must remain grounded and self-aware. Ego is the greatest trap on this path. The moment someone believes they are chosen to be superior, they fall out of alignment. True marking deepens humility, not pride. The marked are also called to live authentically. This does not require perfection or constant spiritual expression. It requires honesty. You are asked to align your actions with your values, even when it is inconvenient. Integrity is the language of the marked. When you live truthfully, you become a quiet signal to others that authenticity is possible. Another purpose is to hold space for awakening. Some people will come into your life confused, overwhelmed, or searching. You are not responsible for saving them. You are responsible for listening, grounding, and reflecting clarity. Sometimes your presence alone is enough. Seeds are planted through resonance, not persuasion. Responsibility also includes self-care and boundaries. Being marked does not mean self-sacrifice without limits. You must protect your energy rest when needed and remain connected to your inner guidance. Burnout weakens discernment. Balance strengthens it. Your ability to serve depends on your ability to stay aligned. You may be called to step away from drama, divisive conversations, or fear-based narratives, not because you are disconnected, but because you see clearly how easily energy can be pulled off center. Silence at times is an act of wisdom. Presence at times is more powerful than reaction. Chosen one understand this clearly. You do not need to announce your role. The marked are often unnoticed by the world, but deeply effective. Influence flows through being, not attention. When alignment is strong, impact follows naturally. This responsibility may feel heavy at times, but it is also deeply fulfilling. You are not carrying it alone. Many others are being positioned alongside you, even if you never meet them. The marking connects through resonance, not proximity. Your purpose is simple but not easy. Remain grounded, remain honest, remain compassionate. In doing so, you fulfill the role you were prepared for quietly, steadily, and with strength that does not need to be seen to be real. Chosen one as the marking settles within you. The most important guidance is this: move forward with discernment, not urgency. This path does not require rushing, announcing, or proving anything. The marked are called to walk with awareness, patience, and trust in the unfolding rather than control over outcomes. Discernment becomes essential now. Because not every voice, teaching, or opportunity that appears spiritual is aligned. As awareness spreads, so does distortion. Some will try to claim authority, create fear, or elevate themselves above others. This is where your inner guidance matters most. If something feeds ego division or anxiety, it is not aligned. Truth brings clarity, steadiness, and peace, even when it challenges you. You may feel moments of doubt or questioning. This is natural and healthy. Discernment does not eliminate questions, it refines them. You are not expected to have certainty at all times. You are asked to remain honest with yourself and responsive to inner signals. When something feels forced, step back. When something feels grounded, allow it to unfold. Trust also means accepting that your role may look ordinary on the outside. You may not be called to public platforms, spiritual titles, or visible leadership. Many of the most impactful roles are subtle, holding families together, stabilizing workplaces, offering presence during difficult moments, living as quiet examples of integrity. Do not underestimate small, consistent acts of alignment. They ripple further than you can see. Boundaries will be tested in this phase. Some people may project expectations onto you. Others may drain your energy without realizing it. Saying no is not selfish, it is responsible. Protecting your peace protects your ability to remain clear. You cannot anchor stability if you are constantly pulled off center. Walking forward with trust also means releasing the need to fully understand the path. The next steps will often appear only when you are ready to take them. Guidance arrives through intuition, timing, and subtle nudges rather than dramatic instruction. Pay attention to what feels calm and steady rather than what feels urgent and loud. You may also notice a growing sense of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. You become gentler with your mistakes, more patient with your growth. This compassion is not weakness, it is maturity. It allows you to stay open without being overwhelmed. Chosen one, the marking is not something you must carry with heaviness. It is meant to support you, not burden you. You are not here to fix the world alone. You are here to remain aligned within it. That alignment held consistently is powerful. As you continue forward, let trust replace striving. Let discernment guide decisions. Let peace be your confirmation. When you walk in this way, you fulfill your role naturally, without force, without fear, and without losing yourself in the process. Chosen one, as this message comes to a close, it is important to understand that nothing you have heard is meant to place pressure on you or force belief. True truth never demands acceptance, it simply resonates. If something within you feels calm, grounded, or quietly affirmed, that response itself is meaningful. The marking you have learned about is not something to chase, claim, or prove. It is something that settles naturally when alignment is already present. This moment is not about becoming special overnight. It is about recognizing a journey that has been unfolding for a long time. Every season of isolation, every internal struggle, every time you felt different without explanation was shaping your capacity to remain steady in a world that often feels unsteady. What once felt like confusion was preparation. What once felt like delay was refinement. The marking is not loud because your role is not loud. It is not dramatic because its power lies in consistency, integrity, and presence. You are not being asked to separate yourself from others or see yourself as above anyone. You are being asked to remain grounded, compassionate, and truthful, especially when it is difficult. That is where real influence lives. As you move forward, remember this: you do not need to do more to be worthy. You do not need to announce who you are. You do not need to convince anyone of what you carry. Alignment speaks for itself. The way you listen, the way you respond, the way you choose peace over reaction. These are the quiet signals of someone walking in clarity. There may be moments ahead where doubt returns, where the world feels heavy again, where silence feels uncomfortable. This does not mean you have lost alignment. It means you are human. The marking does not. Everything you need is already within reach.